Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. The human body is a truly remarkable thing, but some aspects of the body are very annoying. For example, many parasites and animals find our bodies very convenient for living in and end up crawling inside. From a 15-centimeter worm found in the eye to a woman's mouth getting pregnant with squid sperm, here are 10 animals that were found living inside humans. Number 10. Worm in eye. Animals in India really love to live inside humans. Gone are the days of an eyelash or speck of dirt being the most nagging possibilities of things trying to make their way into your eyes. A 60-year-old man sought medical treatment for intense pain and itching in his eye, only to find he had a parasitic roundworm living there, aka the stuff of nightmares. As if things couldn't get any worse than having a worm wriggling around inside your eye, doctors at New Medical Center in Kandapur, where the unnamed patient from India was treated, had to remove the worm while it was still alive, as killing it inside the eye would have created complications. The whole incident was recorded on tape, and it was no normal worm either. It was actually 15 centimeters long. Further testing showed the man also had worms throughout his blood that will require more treatment. I don't know what he was doing around so many worms, and honestly at this point, I don't even want to know. Number 9. Cockroach invasion. Even though they are completely harmless, cockroaches are some of the most disgusting creatures out there. Just a sight of them moving from afar is disturbing enough. But imagine having them living inside your own body, and not one, but 25 of them. A Chinese man, identified as Mr. Liv, reportedly woke up at night because of sharp pain in his right ear and asked his family members to shine a light in his ear to see what was causing it. Shining a torch near his ear revealed a large cockroach inside. Mr. Liv went to Sanhe Hospital in the city of Huizhou, where his nightmare continued when a doctor found more than 10 cockroach babies inside his ear. He said his ear hurt a lot, like something was scratching or crawling inside. It caused a lot of discomfort. The doctor discovered more than 25 cockroach babies inside. They were already running around. The roaches were removed with the help of a tweezer, and it was not clear how long they had been living there. Mr. Liv had a habit of leaving unfinished packets of food near his bed, which probably attracted insects and cockroaches. Number 8. Spider in the ear canal. Spiders are creepy enough on their own, and a spider in the ear is a real American Chinese horror story. When Li Ming started hearing a scratching noise in her ear, she initially mistook it for evil spirits and went to a temple to pray the eerie sounds away. However, the pain was so severe that she finally caved and saw an ear, nose, and throat specialist. Much to her surprise and probable horror, the doctor found a spider resting on her eardrum. Each attempt doctors made to remove the spider caused it to react violently. That even sounds so creepy. Eventually, the spider was removed via tweezers, but the trauma will remain forever. Meng said that she had been hiking with her boyfriend, and it's likely the spider crawled inside her ear when she was climbing a tree. Number 7. Maggot infestation. One doctor thought that the bleeding, strange bumps on Aaron Dallas's head might have been a gnat bite. A specialist thought it was shingles, though both doctors held out the possibility that it was something far more disturbing. Then the bump started moving. Another doctor found 5 botfly larvae living on Dallas's head, near the top of his skull. Apparently, a few weeks earlier, a mosquito had placed them there, and they had just become active. Aaron thought it was blood coursing through his head. He said he could hear them, and he actually thought he was going crazy. After a short procedure, the maggots were successfully removed, and Aaron kept them in a small container to show off to everyone. He said he likely received a larval infestation while on a trip to Belize this summer. Botfly infections are not uncommon in parts of Central and South America. The maggots in his head were 2 to 3 millimeters long. This literally gives me the chills. Number 6. Fish swimming in lungs. It wasn't Mr. Love's fault that an army of cockroaches ended up in his ear, but in this case, a boy actually ended up swallowing a live fish that ended up in his lung. Anil Barela, who lives in the Khergon district, had been playing on the riverside with his friends in May of 2012. As weird as it sounds, it was a routine for the children to swallow live fish. But this time when Anil swallowed the fish, instead of it going down his esophagus, it slipped down his windpipe. and entered his left lung. The boy soon started feeling shortness of breath. X-rays of his lungs displayed the left lung completely opaque due to the presence of a foreign object. The fish was literally alive in his body. Dr. Jawar performed a 45-minute-long procedure to remove the fish from the boy's lung. Even the doctor was surprised to see such a case. He said that in 20 years of practice, he had never seen anything like this. Number 5. Fish in bladder. This is one of the most bizarre animal and human body cases you will ever see. In India, doctors treating a 14-year-old boy were shocked to find a 2-centimeter-long fish that had slipped up his penis and into his bladder. Yes, you heard that right. The patient was admitted to the hospital with complaints of pain, dribbling urine, and acute urinary retention spanning a 24-hour period. The explanation he gave was rather interesting. While he was cleaning the fish tank in his house, he was holding a fish in his hand and went to the toilet to pee. When he was passing urine, the fish slipped from his hand and entered his urethra, and then he developed all these symptoms. Close examination using an X-ray failed to show anything, but an ultrasonogram check of the boy's abdomen revealed a full bladder and a small echogenic object indicating the presence of a foreign body in the urinary bladder. Unfortunately, the fish was just too slippery to grip, so they resorted to using a rigid uteroscope with a tool attached that is normally used for removing bladder stones. The fish the urologists removed measured 2 centimeters long and 1.5 centimeters wide. What a tragic story. Number 4. Mouth pregnant with squid babies. In this bizarre and shocking case, a 63-year-old woman's tongue became pregnant after sperm from a raw squid she was eating ended up in her mouth. According to a journal report, she had not removed the internal organs of the squid and then had just parboiled it before eating. The sperm material was alive and well. As soon as she put a piece in her mouth, she felt like many bugs were biting her mouth. Having experienced severe pain, she spat out the entire portion without swallowing. Despite that, she could feel many small squirming white bug-like organisms penetrating her oral mucosa. She had to be rushed to a hospital. Doctors, on observation, were shocked to find 12 small, white spindle-shaped bug-like sperm bags embedded in her tongue and gums. The foreign bodies were identified as spermatophores, which are sperm-containing capsules. They belong to a Japanese flying squid known as Totorodes pacificus. Number 3. 18-meter-long tapeworm. In March 2021, a Thai man was in constant pain and had arrived at the hospital complaining of flatulence. The incident took place in Nong Khai Province, Thailand. The man had no previous medical history, and the doctors were perplexed. They conducted a number of tests, and a stool sample was sent to experts at the Parasitic Disease Research Center, which came back with a startling discovery. There was an 18-meter-long tapeworm in the man's intestines. As many as 28 parasitic eggs were also found in the sample. The man was given deworming medicine, after which the giant parasite oozed out of his rectum. The tapeworm was identified as a Longtania saginata. The parasite can enter the human body upon consumption of raw or uncooked beef with the parasite's eggs. The medics believe that this is the biggest tapeworm found in Thailand for more than 50 years. Number 2. Leech in nose. When Daniela Liverani from Edinburgh began experiencing nosebleeds while traveling for a month in Vietnam, she thought she must have just burst a blood vessel after falling off a motorcycle. Liverani said that when she would see a reddish mass hanging out, thinking it was just congealed blood, she simply sniffed it back up. A few days after she returned to Scotland, she looked in the mirror to examine the inside of her nose and realized that what was inside was no ordinary blood clot. It was a 3-inch long leech, about as wide as a thumb. Doctors were able to pull the leech out. The thought of her sniffing that leech back up will not let me sleep tonight. Number 1. Live eel from stomach. People take all types of weird advice from others. A guy in Guangzhou, China, heard word on the street that his constipation could be effectively relieved or even cured by a living eel. And he bought the idea and ended up inserting one inside of himself. Well, it was obviously not a good idea. The live fish tore through the man's intestines before dying and getting stuck in his abdomen for a week. The doctors suspected that there was a foreign object in his abdominal cavity from a CT scan, but they couldn't tell where it came from. The patient then underwent an emergency abdominal operation after his condition became life-threatening. He has fully recovered after medics removed the dead fish from the man's belly during the emergency surgery. Moral of the story: don't believe in folktales and seek professional advice. Have you ever had such an experience with an animal? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.